What's going on, guys? This is David. Welcome back to the channel. As always, remember, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I would really appreciate it. Help the channel grow and help share this information to as many people as possible. So let's get right into it. It's the end of the week. I haven't talked to you guys in a little while. But yeah, man, the stock market is doing well. We had a lot of the big tech earnings this week. So saw a lot of those companies report their earnings for the third quarter. And this is a good time. It's a good educational time for you to do some research on companies that you may be interested in, especially like some of the big tech companies that we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, if you want to know how a company's doing, what better way, than to look at their earnings and review their earnings report and see what, how they perform over the last quarter. So let's jump right into it. All right, let's look at the Dow. The markets were finished up today, started down, way down this morning. I think because of earnings from Amazon and Apple on yesterday did not meet expectations, supposedly. So it kind of dragged the market down early this morning, but finished out pretty good. You see the activity with the Dow today, but finished up 89 points. And over the past week, it was up 99 points. So not bad at all. S&P also finished up today after being down most of the day. Over the past week, you see me up 1%, which is pretty good. I will take that. See where we started off at the beginning of the week. See where we ended up. I'm not mad at that at all. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Also finished up today, 50 points. Past week, up 2%. Not mad at that at all. 368 points. See where we started at the beginning of the week. See where we finished. That's what you like to see. And let's see what we on the NASDAQ. Let's see what we've done past month. Up 7%. That's great. So it looks like we bounced back from the September down month, historically down month in September. That's what we usually see over time. And now you see in the market, catching this footing and going back up. And like I said, we hope to finish the fourth quarter pretty strong, right? So we start in the fourth quarter, hoping to finish the fourth quarter strong. So let's hope that that continues on that track. So yeah, some of the big earnings this week. Let's look at Facebook. Facebook didn't respond too well to their earnings from the other day, but you see today they're up 2%, 323. Let's take a look over the past week, and you probably see in the chart. There you go, right there. So we started up, and actually Facebook ended up 1% this week, right? But you see how, when the earnings came at the beginning of the week, you saw the dip, you saw the dip, you saw the dip. I think with the announcement of the whole Meta thing, if you look down here, I'm pretty sure they said something. There you go, right here. Facebook changed its company name to Meta. So I think that kind of helped spark a little rise back in the price. So they still have a way to go. Let's take a look how they performed over the last month. You see, of course, they're down 4% for the month. And over the past 6 months, though, you're down, not bad, but you see we got pretty high here, right? But now you see the downfall. If I was a new investor, I would be looking at some entry points to get in at these prices, right? So I personally had Facebook for a long time. So I'm riding this bumpy time out. I'm not letting go of any of my shares. I haven't bought any lately in the past couple of weeks, but if I was buying, this would be the time I would be looking to buy, just to be honest with you. So Yeah, so Facebook, I think they're on there. They're trying to get their footing. Has some recent changes. Didn't respond too well to earnings, but we'll see how they look over the fourth quarter. Also, Apple. Let's pull Apple up. Also reported earnings this week, and I've spent a lot of time on these companies because these companies tend to be the ones that move the needle. Like you can invest in whatever you want to invest in the sector, of course. But these big techs is kind of what moves the needle in the market. Your Facebooks, your Apples, your Microsoft, your Amazon, your Google, things like that. So just keep that in mind. So Apple down 1% today. Over the past week, saw how we started to move up, started to track up, but we had earnings and the market didn't like the earnings report, so you saw the big dip down here, right? But now you're starting to see the pushback up. Apple's usually not a company that I worry about too much, even if they do have earnings that doesn't meet Wall Street expectations. If it dips, boom, there you have a chance to possibly for an entry point if you're a new investor looking to get in. Let's take a look how they've done for the past month. Still up 5% over 6 months, up 13, almost 14% year to date. Apple is up 15%. So, this is one of those proven companies, one of those federal companies that kind of, walks the walk no matter what. So I can expect them to make their way back up. So let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft had an amazing week. The market really liked their earnings report, and you'll see when we look at the chart here today, up 2% over the past week. Look at what we're doing here. So you see how we started off the week at 309. You had your earnings come in, and boom, you saw the skyrocket here, right? And you just seeing it take off on the uptrend. So I love Microsoft. Of course, I'm invested in. I wish I had more shares, but this is, they're creeping their way up to be probably that number one stock that you want to hold. I always talk about Microsoft and Apple. I'll talk about that a little bit later. You'll see that those are the two companies that, you want to have. I talked about that in the previous video. Over the past month, we see Microsoft up 17%. Over 6 months, we see it up 31%. Year to date, Microsoft is up 52%. 52% year to date since the beginning of the year. And over the past year, wow, 63%. So when people ask, oh, what company? I don't know where to start, where to invest. Apple and Microsoft. There you go. It doesn't get any, more basic than that. Amazon had their earnings report this week. Oh, the market didn't like their report, but Amazon's kind of tricky, right? Let's take a look at their week. They're still up 1% for the week. Seeing what happened was, and usually the case, Amazon kind of runs up before earnings. So you see where we started off the weekend, you saw the rise up to 34, came back down, then it started rising right before the earnings report. And then boom, you see what happens here. All right. And this happened before. Just, it's how it is with Amazon. A company that I still believe in, but they've been trading kind of flat over the last year and a half. They'll run up, they'll come back down, they'll run up and come back down. So that's just kind of, that Amazon stock for you. But I think it's going to make its way back up. I'm hoping that it gets past 4,000 one of these days, hoping for the end of the year or first quarter of next year. Wishful thinking, but I think it could get its footing back and get back on track. So yeah, that was just a little brief rundown of the earnings report, or some of the big companies respond to the earnings report. Like I said, it's earnings season, so you'll see that pretty often. Company report their earnings and the stock price follows their earnings, where whether it responds well, depending on what the reports are, that may respond best. So as a long-term investor, I always hope for positive earnings, right? I want companies to keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. Well, especially the companies that I'm invested in. Now, if you may looking for a company that you want an entry point in, looking to get into, that maybe you want to pull back so you can find a good entry and then ride the stock up. So if you're that type of investor, so nothing wrong with that. Also, hot topic this week, cryptocurrency. So let's just take a look. I don't talk about crypto a whole lot because it's just a different beast. But I am invested in crypto. Don't get it twisted. Let's just take a look at some of the big boys here. Let's take a look at 5 days though, down 2%. But Bitcoin is the monster, right? So let's see what's done over the past month, and you see what's going on right here. And usually when you see Bitcoin on the rise, it pretty much moves the market, and that's why you see all these other coins that's kind of jumping up too. Shiba's been the talk of the town the last week or so. It's shot up like crazy. So I do have some Shiba. Yeah, man, it's definitely been a good last week or so in Shiba. So you see Bitcoin up 40% over the last month. And when it gets to running, it's a beast. Will it make its way to 100K? We'll see. We'll see. Another one we'll talk about is Ethereum. Is Ethereum? Yeah, Ethereum. And let's see what we're doing last 5 days. You see up 3%. Last month, up 45%. Starting along with Bitcoin. Like I say, when Bitcoin starts to run, you see the others, follow suit. A lot of people think that Ethereum is that one that you want to get into, even more than Bitcoin. So I'm not, telling you what to do or anything like that, but I'm working on building up my Bitcoin and Ethereum portfolio myself. So let me know what you guys are cryptos you guys are invested in. I've been hearing DeFinance, DeFi, cryptos is where to go. NFTs, of course. But I'm not an expert. I'm learning just like everybody else. But yeah, I'm gonna have my hand in the cookie jar. I like to earn while I learn. You know what I mean? So I'm not the one that's gonna sit on the sideline when there's opportunities. I'm gonna do a little research on my own, and I'm gonna jump in and see what happens. That's the life of an investor, right? So yeah, just want to talk about that briefly. Let's go back here. So usually I get on here and talk about individual stocks, but this video I wanted to mention a few funds, right? A few ETF / indexes that you guys should look into. Not a financial advisor, do your own research. But when there's when I hear people saying they don't know where to get started in regards to buying stocks, don't know what stocks to buy, look at ETFs, look at index funds, things like that. That may have, can put you in the right direction. There's so many out there, right? I'm just going to go through a few. And maybe it's something that could, fit what you're looking into. So let's start with one of my favorites, right? VOO. And you see VOO is the Vanguard 500 Index Fund. And some of the top stocks in the VOO are Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google. So those are all, some of the top holdings inside VOO. Currently trading at 422. How did it do for the past week? And I always go, I like to go day, 5 days, a month. I do that to show you, how you can just do a quick analysis on, stock without going really too much into detail. At the end of the day, you want a stock or a fund that's performing and going up over time. So that's the idea, right? So that's why I just briefly go through just to give you a bird's eye view of what's going on. Now, if you want to do in-depth research, then that's what you should do. Looking more in depth into each stock or fund or whatever that you feel like you want to invest in. So VOO up 1% over the past week. Over the past month, up 7%, 6 months. You can see the 10% year to date. VOO is up 24%. Are you getting that in your savings? Are you getting that type of return in your savings? Probably not. So why not invest in a fund, right? Oh, I don't know what stock to buy. Here you go. Like I said, so the top holdings, the VOO is Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google. So that's a way that you can just get a share of all those stocks, in one fund. So another one that I like, VTI, Vanguard Total Stock Market Index fund, currently trading at 236. Some of the top holdings, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google. A lot of these funds that I'm going to pull up, right? Going to hold Apple and Microsoft. That's why I keep saying that Apple and Microsoft are two of those top companies that you want to hold, top stocks. But let's look at VTI here. Like I said, this is a Vanguard fund that follows the total stock market. See how it's performed over the last 5 days, over the last month, 6%, 6 months, 9%, year to date, 23%. Right. So, write some of these funds down, man. This is where you want to go. It's kind of the cheat code to buying stocks, because you really don't have to buy individual stocks. I love individual stocks, but yeah, man, this is the way to go. Let's go to the next one. VNQ. Want some access to real estate? I love real estate stocks. I have a lot of REITs in my portfolio. But here's one. Here's a Vanguard fund that follows real estate, right? So some of the top holdings in this fund, you have Vanguard Real Estate Index, you have American Tower Group, Prodigies Inc., Crown Castle, just to name a few. Those are some of the top holdings. Over the last 5 days, VNQ, I actually have VNQ in my portfolio. Down for the past week, over the last month, up 7%. Over the last 6 months, 10%. Year to date, VNQ, look at that, 32%, up 32% year to date. Done well in my portfolio. I'm, always looking to add when I possibly can. I love this fund. I'm not gonna lie. Let's look at another one, VGT. Let's look at one, the Vanguard Tech Index, right? Top holdings: Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Visa, MasterCard. And this is the Vanguard Informational Technology Index Fund, ETF. Saw what we did today. Over the past week, up 1%. Over the past month, 8%. And I don't have this one in my portfolio. I might need to add it, but you see how it's performing, right? Over the last 6 months, up 15%. Year to date, 24%. Like, these funds are moving and they're producing, right? Vanguard has funds that follow every sector of the market, just FYI, if you didn't know that already. Let's go to the next one. These are all funds you can add to your portfolio. QQQ, a popular fund that follows the NASDAQ. I actually do options on QQQ. Another one that I love, up for the day. We looked at it earlier, actually, I believe. No, we didn't look at it. We looked at NASDAQ earlier. But this is QQQ. Over the past 5 days, up 2%. Over the past month, up 7%. 6 months, 14% up. Year to date, QQQ is up 24%. Once again, all these funds are providing you positive returns. That's why people transition their money from savings and investing into funds, because you're getting more of a return on your investment instead of having sitting in the savings, not earning anything, right? So top holdings in QQQ, Apple, Microsoft, those sound familiar, Amazon, and Facebook. All right, let's go to the next one. What's one? Oh, this is the XLF. It's one of those SPY funds that follows the financial market. If you want to advance in finance, this is the sector that you could. This is a fund that follows the financial market. Top holdings in this fund is Berkshire, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. Over the past 5 days, down 1%. Over the past month, up 7%. 6 months, 11%, and year to date at XLF, we're up 38%. Man, that's crazy. And you see very affordable price, XLF. So do some research on that. Maybe something you might want to add to your portfolio. Let's take a look at XLE, one of those another SPY funds that follows the energy sector. And energy's been rocking lately. Down today, but up over the last 5 days. Oh, down for the week. For the month, up 10%. I know it's been rocking because my Exxon stock has been going up. And one of the top holders in the XLE, Exxon, Chevron, Conoco. So just to give you an idea of how some of these funds work here. So up 10% in the past month. 6 months, up 16%. Year to date, up 51% in this fund. Very affordable fund here. And just look where you start off in the year to date and get down to the bottom there. And see where it's at now. 57.47, up 51%. That's crazy. Let's take a look at the SPY. Hope you guys are writing some of these funds down. Can't say that you don't know what to invest in or where to start. You know what I mean? Let's see. SPY, one of the popular funds. I also run options on the SPY. And you see where we at today. Some of the top holders in the SPY, of course, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook. Probably getting tired of hearing Apple and Microsoft, but when you one of the top companies, you're going to hear those names a lot. So SPY is up today, and SPY, as you see, follows the S&P. Usually when the S&P is up, there you go, it's going to follow along. So up 1% for the week. For the past month, I mean, this is what you like to see, right? Up 7%. Over the last 6 months, up 10%. You see how we had that downturn in September, right? But we picked that back up in October. Year to date, 24% on the SPY. SPY is that ticker. And the last one, this is a sleeper here. Well, it shouldn't be a sleeper, but SMH, and this is a semiconductor ETF that I think that a lot of people should look at. I need to add it to my portfolio, but some of the top holders, right, are TSM, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, AMD. The only reason I don't have this in my portfolio is because I own NVIDIA and I own AMD. So I didn't want to do a little overkill. But man, this is a great fund to have in your portfolio. Currently trading at 273. Last 5 days, up 2%. And the numbers don't lie. It's gonna speak for itself. You don't have to take my word for it. Up 6% for the month, over 6 months, up 12%. Year to date, we're up 25%. Ticker symbol SMH. That is one that you might want to look at. Like I say, NVIDIA and AMD are two of the companies that I think, is going to take off in the next few years. And, I'm invested in those companies myself. So, I'm looking for big returns on those investments. I think SMH is going to produce those same type of returns over the next few years. So, yeah, that's it. And I mean, there's many other ETFs and indexes out there if you do a little research. But if you're having difficulty, finding the right stocks, index funds are the way to go. Definitely. So, they're out there. They're out there. Like I said, Vanguard has funds for every sector. So, but yeah, man, I just wanted to touch on that this video. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. Um, and yeah, that's it. So if you guys listen on the podcast, head over to my YouTube page. Um, give me a like, subscribe, a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. If you guys on the YouTube channel, head over to my podcast. Link is in the, it'd be in the description in the video. Now, I really appreciate you guys following along. Welcome your feedback, leave some comments. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, guys, I am out.